Howdy, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Dunn. Today I'm going to take this sheet of paper that you got in class and talk about these 4 different types of graphs that we have been discussing. So we're going to go through each of these and talk about what information they can give you and what information they cannot. So to start off with, we have this first graph we call a dot plot. So I'm going to go ahead and write dot plot. A dot plot can give us quite a bit of information. It can give us the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. Not all of our graphs can do that, but the dot plot can. If we see what's happening here, we have, it says number of family members. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Notice that our number line has every number on it from our smallest value to our largest value. Even if there isn't a set of data like at 6 and 8, the numbers 6 and 8 are still there. That is important for this. If I was looking at this, I have 1 point at 1, so there's 1, 1, 2 2s, 3 3s, 4 4s, odd enough, and then 3 5s. So if I was to list these numbers out in order, it would go 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 7, 9. Okay, from this we can find the mean by taking these numbers, adding them up, and by dividing how many there are. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I'd add these 15 numbers together, divide by 15. The median, I can find the median here. I just narrow in, so because they're already in order from least to greatest, so I go here and here, 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 there and there, and then all these numbers are the same, so it's going to be 4. So your median is 4. Your mode is the number that occurs most often. That's the one that has the most number of dots. So 4 occurs most often because it has the highest frequency of dots. So your mode here is 4. And then the range you can also see by finding on your number line which has the biggest number, which is 9, which data point has the smallest number, which is 1. So your range is 9 minus 1, which is 8. So I have a range of 8. Other things that you can find from dot plots is you can see where there's a cluster. So cluster, here I see a cluster from 1 to 5. And then I can see a gap at 6 and 8. And we can even see outliers. We could say that 9 is a possible outlier. That is a number that goes well beyond. So we can find a lot of information from dot plots. Similarly, we can go over and look at our next one. This is a stem and leaf. Creating a stem and leaf, you have a set of numbers. You find the smallest number. In this case, this is 51. You find the largest number. In case this is 151. And you're going to put your stems going all the way down. So I'm going from the 50s to the 150s. So notice there's a 6, a 7, an 8, a 9, a 10, all the way through 15. It is not skipping any numbers because, again, that allows you to see there's a gap right here and a gap right there. I can still find the mean, the median, the mode, and the range from this as well. The mean is found by adding these numbers up. Now, we have to be careful because my numbers are not 1, 4, 6, 8, 2, 9, 3, 4, and so forth. My numbers are 51, 84, 86, 88. Those numbers are the numbers I have to add up and then divide by how many there are. The mode is very easy to see because if I look, I'm trying to find which of my stems has a leaf that has the same number. If I look at this data, I see that there is no mode. I see 4s multiple times, but I don't see a 4 happening twice on the same stem. I don't see any number that repeats on the same stem and leaf, so there is no mode for this set of data, which remember we can have. We can have more than one mode, we can also have no mode. The range is also very easy to find because it's your first number, which is 51, and your last number, which in this case is 151, and we subtract those. So it's 151 minus 51, which is 100 for our range. I have saved median for last because median is a little bit trickier. We are going from our smallest to our largest and finding the middle. So if I do that, I take my smallest and my largest, then my next smallest, my next largest, my next smallest, my next largest, next smallest, next largest, next smallest, next largest, next smallest, next largest, smallest, largest, smallest, largest, and I see that this one and this one are both in the middle. So I see 114 and 121. In order to find the median, I have to add those two numbers together, which would get me 235, and then I'd have to divide that by 2. If I did that, I have 1, another 1, a 7, decimal point, and a 5. So my median is 117.5. The median is harder to find on stem and leaf plots than on dot plots because we have to be careful which directions we go. You can also find on top of all of these things, you can also talk about clusters where I see a large grouping of numbers. So I see groups of numbers in the 80s and 90s, and then in the 110s all the way to the 150s. I can see a gap that occurs here and here. If there were an outlier, I could see that as well, if there was a number that extended beyond it. Dot plots and stem and leaf, the one thing I want to warn you on is that our number lines for dot plots have to include every number. Our stems have to include every stem from our smallest to our largest, so we can see these gaps. Okay, so those are the ones that can give us the most information. Our other two, the histogram and the box plot, do not give us as much information. Okay, so up here we have the box plot. The box plot is made up of 5 data points. You already have a good box plot that should have these listed, but this middle is the median. This is Q1, this is Q3, this is my min, and this is my max. The box is the interquartile range, so the box equals the IQR. That's where your middle 50% of your data is. This is what we can see from box plots. We cannot find the mean. We cannot find the mode. We could find the range by subtracting my max and min. We can talk about if our data is skewed to the left or right by seeing where the data is clustered. If I can find the range from my Q1 to my median and compare it from my range from my median to my Q3, or my median to my max and my median to my min, I can talk about how my data is skewed, which honestly you can do with dot plots and stem and leaf as well. Skewed data is where most of your data is in a small group, a small range. So we usually say data is skewed to the left or the right, or maybe it's symmetrical where there's no skewing. It's pretty evenly distributed. Okay, so if I was to look at this, I would say that from my median to my max, it's a little bit shorter than my median to my min. So we could say that this data is skewed to the left because it's a shorter distance and it contains the same amount of numbers. Okay. The last one is histograms. Histograms, and it says right there, histograms are like box plots, but instead of just one number being under on my x-axis, it has a range, and it goes up by the frequency, how many fit in that range, which means that histograms do not tell you the mean because they don't give you exact numbers. They don't tell you the median because, again, they don't give you exact numbers, the mode, or the range. They can tell you a general range. It looks like this data goes from around the 60s to the 100s. That's all it can tell you. You can find out where most of your numbers lie. You can find frequency. You can find percent frequency by finding out how many of your points are in here. So I see there are 3 here, 8 here, 9 here, or perhaps that's 10. That is 10. And 9 here. So I could add those up. 10, 9, 8, and 3. That's 30. So I could say this is 3 out of 30. This is 8 out of 30, 10 out of 30, 9 out of 30. And remember, every fraction can be found into something over 100 to get a percent, or you can do top in, bottom out to get your percentages. So you can find out what percent of your data lies in that range. That's something that frequency histograms will do. Okay, so these are our 4 types of graphs that we are looking at. These are the 4 graphs I'm going to be asking you to create. So make sure that you have this piece of paper available so it can help you with that for tomorrow. Thank you.